Hey everybody, welcome. Jose here from Northern California Grooming Academy. Today we'll be discussing if the dog grooming industry is for you, what to expect if you become a dog groomer. I have a few topics here, and I know that a lot of people who see videos who don't know much about the grooming industry, they see a dog that was turned into a zebra or big fluffy teddy bear looking dog. It's doable. That's one of the paths that you could take in this industry, but it's usually not like that. The reality is the majority of the business in this industry is a lot more basic than that. It's not always fun, rainbows and butterflies. Usually you have to deal with a lot of dogs that move, older dogs, aggressive dogs, matted dogs, these kind of things. So we're going to cover what to expect and to see if it's the right fit for you. One of the topics we have on the list is it's very, very physically demanding. If you're very new in this industry and you're starting, let's just say you already went through the process of learning the basics and you're working somewhere. If you're new, most likely you're going to have to be grooming almost all dog sizes. Even if you're a brand new business and you're starting off and you want to pick up your business, you most likely have to take any dog that comes through your doors. And most likely some of those are going to be dogs that have been rejected from other places. So they're puppies. So they're going to require more skills to learn how to groom these dogs. So it could be very physically demanding. If you're a person that's around 120 pounds, 140 pounds, and you have to groom a 160 pound dog, it's best for you to get some training that's going to help you be more ergonomic and be able to handle a dog like that, because if you have one that's very aggressive and you don't have the skills, it could become very, very dangerous. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to be this way. I'm just saying those scenarios could happen to somebody that's new, and that's just the reality of it. Same with somebody who sees a smaller dog and they could get injured, what to do in those situations too. So you have to handle those kind of things too. Or if you're brand new in a new place and they think, you're good enough, you average around 3, 4, 5 dogs a day and they book you 7 dogs one day, and you're going to pretty much wear yourself out. Even if you're used to doing 6, 7 dogs a day, the day you do that extra dog, you're probably going to be more tired than the average day for a day or two after that. That's just the expectations when you're a groomer. And we tell most of the students when they start with us, the first week, they're going to be sore. The second week, their body's going to be almost adjusting to it. By the third week, their body would be used to it, because it is, having to do nail trims, your shoulders, brushing, holding dogs' heads, holding dogs' legs. It takes a toll on your body. It's not always this way, but it will happen on a case by case. Every once in a while, you'll have some complications, just like any job, whether it's restaurants or anything, even in sales. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. The other one is a very, very hands-on. You can't just go and learn this online and say, hey, I watched all these videos, give me a dog, I know what to do now. You have to actually work somewhere or learn somewhere, whether it's a school, whether it's working in a place where you're actually working with the dogs. Every single dog is different. Even if you get 3 of the same exact dogs, could be 3 white little Maltese, same weight, they look identical. Most likely those dogs are going to have different personalities, and you're probably going to have to handle each one of those guys differently. That's another thing. Handling, the only way you learn this is by doing more and more and more of it, and obviously by having the right guidance as well. You could learn by doing more yourself without having much guidance. It'll take you a lot longer, and it probably cause a lot more incidents that could be prevented as well. The other one is it could be very messy. So imagine you have this big white fluffy doodle or poodle that you just finished up, that it took you 2.5 hours to bathe and dry and fluff out and get him all poofed up, then another hour to groom it, and you're about to take him out and the dog poops itself or pees on himself, and now you have to clean up the mess, take him back, rewash them and re-dry them, and you have to deal with the mess too. So it could be very messy. Some salons, on the rainy days when the dogs come in for their appointments, you have more dogs that poop those days in your salon than you probably will on the average day. Most dogs, they probably won't take him out to poop in the morning, or they take him out and they don't want to go in the water and poop, so they kind of hold it in. They come here and then they just let it out. So that's another thing like you have to expect, and you have to understand, that comes with the job. Also, in the kennels too, you have to clean kennels. Sometimes you have a dog in there and they'll have to do their business, and you have to take them out, clean them, and rebathe them. You just have to deal with that kind of stuff. So another thing, it could be a very dangerous job. Remember, you're dealing with a live animal, and you're doing things to these animals that usually vets don't do. Vets usually have a vet tech that comes and restrains the dogs, or they'll sedate them, and then they'll do whatever they have to do, the procedure, whether it's surgery, spay and neuter. Even for the nail trims, somebody has to come and pin them down sometimes. With us, we try to work around with the dogs, and if you clip the nails too short, they're going to bleed. So you'll have to deal with blood sometimes. There's obviously septic powder that we use for that, but you're also using clippers. There's different size blades. If you do a lot of short haircuts and you get a lot of matted dogs in your salons, and you have groomers that are less experienced, you're probably going to be paying for a lot of vet bills for stitches, even if you have a lot of waivers, and those things are almost inevitable when you have inexperienced groomers dealing with the dogs that are not easy and matted, and those bills could be very costly too. But at the same time, there's going to be incidents to where you have to deal with. It could be messy, it could be a lot of blood, you could injure a dog seriously if they're not being looked over properly. Remember, you're dealing with a live animal that could jump off a table and break a leg. You don't want to deal with these type of things. So safety is a huge thing too. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying the worst of the worst are these things that come up. They will happen every once in a while. And it's always good to prepare yourself to prevent these issues, just like anything else. It's just like driving, going out. Something serious could happen. We're always driving, but incidents happen, and it's always good to prepare yourself and train yourself. One of the other ones is it could be very emotionally challenging. So imagine everything I just mentioned. Imagine all those things piled up in one day. And on top of that, customers start complaining because, you maybe had a groomer that called out, or it's the busy season and you're trying to gain all these customers and you take too many, but then your groomers get a little behind because of a couple of dogs. Now everybody's stressed out. You're trying to get all these dogs out on time and you're very behind, and you're trying to get through the day. You just want the day to end, and then customers are coming to pick up their dogs, and you have to deal with this chaos. Whether you're the person in charge or the groomers or the bathers or whoever's working in there, the environment gets very stressful, and it becomes more dangerous at that time too, because if everyone's stressed out, then the dogs get stressed out, then they start barking and it gets loud, and then customers start feeling it, and it's just a frustrating situation to be in. That most likely will happen, especially if you're a newer groomer and wherever you're working, so you kind of have to expect those things. I'm not saying it's going to happen all the time. I hope it never happens to anybody, but those things happen. You also have to deal with, if you're going to do this for a long time, let's say you make this a career and you start, like myself, when I started, there's dogs that I started grooming when they were puppies and they're not around anymore. Or there's other dogs that have been coming to me for 12 years and you see them age and they get cataracts, they lose their hearing, they can't stand. I had dogs that I used to fight with for nail trims to this point. Now they don't fight me. Like those type of things, it could be very sad. And those are the type of things that you have to kind of expect them, and they will happen, and prepare yourself for those things, and just do the best that you can. Now, now that I said all the crazy stuff, all the stuff that's very, very serious and scary, this industry could be very rewarding too. And mostly, almost every groomer, there is some out there that just come in because they want to do it for the money, sadly. They don't understand the reality of, if you don't care for the dogs and you're just doing this for the money, a lot of dogs are going to be put in danger. And there's a difference. Like if you want to do this because you care for dogs, you also have to understand that you have to train yourself. Just because you care for dogs and you're grooming a dog, but you don't train yourself properly, you're not doing that dog a favor, because you could probably put that dog at risk. So it's always good to get some proper trainer, whether it's a school, whether it's working somewhere, and you're going to get the proper training where they're going to guide you and teach you how to do things safely and teach you proper handling, so that less dogs get put at risk too. But once you understand these things and then you start growing, it's very rewarding, because obviously dogs come in and you find, foxtails or mats when you have a really matted dog and you shave him down and they feel a lot better and you could tell the dog is happy. That's very rewarding too. And also customers come in and they bring you your dogs. They start trusting you with their dogs. They become part of your family pretty much. I have customers that, bring me cookies every 3 weeks that come in, and they've been coming to me every 3 weeks for the past 12 years. They have customers that, whenever my birthday comes, they bring gifts to me, or they're always messaging me, checking up on me. That's another rewarding part about it. You build good relationships with them and with their dogs, and they're going to trust you. They're going to refer a lot of people to you, and they're always going to give you more business and help you grow as well too. So that's the other part that's very rewarding about it as well. Yeah, if you volunteer to do like dogs that get rescued, you groom them and then they get adopted, those type of things are very rewarding as well. And if you really like certain breeds, certain styles, you get to become a groomer, and then you could kind of grow yourself into whatever category you want to go into. And then you start doing the dogs that you used to see in a magazine, and you get to actually do those and be like, wow, I actually accomplished this, and I'm, I've kept growing, and now I'm at a level that I didn't think I could get to. And there's a lot of people I've seen out there that are competing now that you see in magazines that started and they show their haircuts from like 15 years ago, and you see them now, you're like, yeah, they put a lot of work into it and it shows, and now they're helping in this industry make others better as well too. And that, like those groomers as well that are out there doing these things, doing something really positive for the grooming industry, and they are feeling really, really good about it too. So that's very rewarding for people who take this route and then achieve the goals that they have in mind too. And then once you've become a groomer, the good thing about this is whatever route you want to take, whether you just want to be a groomer and just make a good amount of money and just do your 6-7 dogs a day, or if you're going to groom from home and just do your 3-4 dogs a day in the from dogs from the neighborhood, and you make a living off of this and you're happy, you make your own schedule. I have friends that do that and they do really well. They are content with working 4 days a week, doing 4 or 5 dogs. They're done by 2 or 3 every day, and they have the rest of the day. They have their weekends off. They're making good money and they take a lot of vacations. Or if you want to be like myself, an entrepreneur, and go and build a lot of teams, build businesses, and grow to that level, then there's that route too, where you could build other businesses and employ others and help them grow as well. There's also, if you want to be a competitor, there's that route too, where you could become famous and an influencer and go and do competition haircuts, go and travel. You could even become a Groom Team USA competitor, where you go and compete against other countries. You know, there's ways to get to that too. There's a lot out there, and there's a lot of people who could guide you into that direction too. There's also coloring. You know, there's show dogs. You could go and work with handlers and go and help them show dogs in the ring, the dogs that you see on TV. So there's a lot of options. There's a lot of routes that you could take, and some of them are probably more rewarding financially. Some are more rewarding, celebrity points. Some are more rewarding in helping other dogs. So it depends on which route you want to take. Stick to it. Get a right mentor to guide you, and you'll be able to accomplish and get to where you want to be. All right, guys. So if you want to become a groomer, check out our academy. Also, if you're a groomer and you want to sharpen your skills, check out our online tutorials. Comment down below. We would like to hear your thoughts or any topics that you might be interested in. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.